Past week was very volatile for GBP and gold, while this week is JPY and euro. If we look at the news calendar, we can see that coming up later this week, JPY, euro, dollar CAD becoming very volatile. So this week we'll keep a special eye on euro, JPY pairs as well as USD pairs. While if we look back our past week's weekly forex forecast, we expected DXY to fly up from this level. Let's quickly look at our past week's analysis on DXY. Rejuvenated DXY. What I think that this week we might see that DXY will try to fly to the support and then continuation to the upside. Now this is the last week's DXY candle on the daily time frame. In fact, the price had a big flight to the upside as expected. So what is going to happen this week? Let's quickly look at one by one. I will be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis from the weekly perspective. Now before I begin this weekly forex forecast, make sure that you smash the like button and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done yet. This is Forex Wizard from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. Without further delay, let's get started. Okay guys and girls, so we'll be looking at first of all again starting with the DXY. As DXY will give us clear direction about the most of the USD pairs including gold, and then we'll be looking at also WTI, US30 and NASDAQ. So starting with DXY, looking at first of all monthly time frame to see overall direction in the market. Now if we look at the monthly chart, back to back after 2 months of strong drop on DXY, we can see that this month the price started to bounce up this level. Now with that bounce so far, this is the last week of the month, we can expect DXY. What I think that in the beginning of the week we might see downside for a deeper pullback, and we could see even monthly close in that area. So initially we can expect drop, and at the end of the week reverting back to the resistance level again. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we see that back to back 3 weeks of bullish move. Previous week we saw a very narrow doji on DXY, and this week we have seen again a very strong bounce to the upside with this long bullish candle. Now this week what I think that DXY will try to pull back to the downside as the price is maintaining series of higher low. We can see that this is the very high liquidity zone. To this support we could see that DXY will try to drop initially, and then we can expect to go back up again before the monthly close. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see that from the daily DXY is in a globally, here we see the downtrend, and from this level we saw it has formed an inverted head and shoulder, had a strong breakout with this gap opening on DXY. Now with that gap opening also there's a weakless candle, and this is a very high liquidity zone. And what I think that DXY might drop further again in the beginning of the week, as we see that from the daily it is maintaining a smooth trend line here, creating series of lower high, and from that level we can expect DXY to drop down to break this low to gather liquidity, and then later we might see that again DXY reverting back to the upside before the monthly close. Now looking at the intraday perspective on DXY, we can see that the market has formed a double top in that area. After this gap opening and a strong movement, the price we can expect from this level to drop down to retest this consolidation pattern here. There is a long consolidation pattern, and with that consolidation pattern the price has from this previous resistance level here, resistance here, along with this gap opening, which we can expect to be retested as a support, and from this level we can expect DXY to revert back up again. So this could be the wave for this week, initial drop and then return back to the resistance level. With that being said, Let's quickly look at all the instruments based on this analysis, starting with dollar yen. And we can see the dollar yen this week might be very volatile. As JPY news coming up, we might see a very strong momentum on dollar yen. Starting with monthly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the monthly time frame, this is the monthly price action on dollar yen after back-to-back 2 months of drop to this monthly support level on dollar yen. We can see that this month from this level the price had a strong bounce to the upside. Now with that bounce, what we can expect on dollar yen for the price to go ahead and to create a new higher high, as we see that it's a very strongly bull market, and we can expect for the price to remain bullish for long-term perspective. If we look at the weekly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the weekly time frame, there is a strong bullish engulfer followed by a narrower candle. Now this week we saw that there is a very strong momentum without any pullback to the downside, which is maintaining still a very strong bullish market structure. If we draw this previous resistance level here on dollar yen, which is turning support in that area, and what we can expect on dollar yen for the price to come down for a deeper pullback and then to go back up to create a new higher high, as it is a long-term bull market, and I think that the price will remain bullish on dollar yen, and even it could break this high or even to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see a bit more clearer picture. We see double doji formation on the daily in this strongly bull market. If you look at this daily candlestick pattern, we can see that on dollar yen the candlestick pattern is very stronger on the daily. All the candles are bullish, and I think that this week dollar yen might be very strong, as we see double doji formation with a series of higher low. What I think that with the market open, we might see initial pullback to this daily support, where this is the daily support, this is the daily support. In between this level, what we can expect on dollar yen to drop to gather liquidity and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. This is the zone that I will be looking at on the lower time frame. Now if you look at the 4-hour perspective, where on dollar yen we can see that there is a crossover of 10 and 20 EMA, and from this level the market has not formed any retest of this level. And if you look at this price action, we can see that it's a very strongly bull market on dollar yen, and I think that this price keep pushing high to create a new higher high. So this is where what I think highly likely we could see with the market open, or anytime we can expect dollar yen to break to the downside, especially this 4-hour 20 EMA, which is the below the daily low and below this daily high. So below this double doji, in between this level, is a very high area of value for potential buying opportunity on dollar yen. This is where I will be waiting for potential buying opportunity on dollar yen. As soon as we will find suitable entry in that area, we will look for going long on dollar yen with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at GBPJPY. Again, looking at the monthly chart, we can see that this is the monthly price action on GJ. As expected in all our analysis, GBPJPY is a long-term bull market. Starting with this strong impulse on GJ, we can see that there is a big move to the upside, and with this move the price has consolidated in that area. And with this red candle on GJ, the price had a breakdown from this long-term uptrend, gathered the liquidity, and this month we have seen the sellers couldn't get any chance. The buyers has taken full control. The market is currently above this level, and we can expect for GJ to push high to create a new higher high. So with that being said, GBPJPY, what we can expect for the price to create a new higher high, as it is maintaining strong bullish market structure. Now if we look at the weekly chart on GBPJPY, we can see that a strong bullish engulfer followed by a very narrow candle, followed by another bullish candle on GJ. What we can expect in this market for the price to come down for a pullback and then to remain bullish, as the market has created this strong impulse. I think that GBPJPY this week also remaining bullish. As there is a JPY news coming up, we can expect JJ to remain strongly bullish in this market. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see that back to back 2 days series of higher low. Last day of trading week we saw a long wick doji. This doji is still maintaining series of higher low. This is the daily support that I will be targeting for a potential buying, and as this market is maintaining series of higher low, we can expect GBPJPY for the price to come down to create a new higher high in this level. Now if we look at the intraday perspective on GJ, we can see like the dollar yen, this is the daily support where there is a 4-hour 20 EMA. Any drop to this level can give us suitable entry for this potential bullish move to the upside. As soon as we will find suitable entry on GBPJPY, we will look for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at CHFJPY. Looking at monthly chart, we can see that from the monthly perspective on CHFJPY, also this is a long-term bullish market. What we see in this area, this is a long-term bull market. You can see this is the monthly candlestick pattern. Every month the price is creating series of higher low, followed by previous months a long wick doji. And with that long wick doji, this month, once the market opened, we have seen that from this level had a strong breakout. And I think that CHFJPY keep pushing high to create a new higher high. Now looking at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly, CHFJPY also maintaining series of higher low. There is a long wick doji previous week. This week also, once the market opened from that level, has formed this bullish candle, which we can expect we fill in that area as the market is maintaining series of higher low. This is the support level on the weekly that we can expect for the price to come down for a retest and then to go back up to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on CHFJPY, we can see that there is a doji, and I think that we might see a retest of this support. This is where also the daily liquidity zone, as you can see. And what we can expect on CHFJPY, initial drop like the GJ and UJ, we can expect for the price to come down and then to give us potential entry opportunity. Now if we look at the intraday perspective on CHFJPY, we can see that this is the intraday time frame where this is a bull flag on this intraday time frame. And what I think that this price may continue to drop to this level to test this support here, and from this zone we can expect for CHFJPY to remain bullish for long-term perspective. This is what I will be waiting for. Break of this low, any support break can give us suitable entry on CHFJPY. As soon as we will find suitable entry, we'll look for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at AUDUSD. Now among the USD pairs, we see that we could see the weakness on DXY that might give AUDUSD a momentum to grow. Now looking at the monthly chart, first of all, look at the higher time frame on AUDUSD. We can see that from the monthly perspective, this is we can see back to back 2 months of a bullish move. This month after retest, we have seen an immediate drop, and followed by currently we see the market again going up for a pullback. So if we look at the weekly chart to see a bit more clearer picture, we can see that from the weekly time frame, there is a long wick candle on the weekly. And I think that this week we might see initial bounce with this long wick as it has tested this support. And at the end of the week, we can expect for the price to come down. Again, we could see a monthly close among this area, or even dropping further at the end of the week. Now looking at the daily chart on AUDUSD, we can see that there is a drop and the price is going up for a pullback. And I think that the price might go back to this liquidity zone for deeper pullback, and then we can expect for the price to return back from this level. Now looking at the intraday perspective on AUDUSD, we can see that this is an initial drop on AUDUSD, followed by a strong drop, followed by a strong impulse, followed by another drop. So we see that in this move, the market is gathering liquidity from this support. This is a liquidity gap, and also there is a liquidity gap here, there is a liquidity gap here. So we see that AUDUSD in this local channel signaling potential further upside, and I think that AUDUSD after initial pullback with the market open, we can expect for this price to go back up, and we might see the price is breaking this high, as we are expecting for the price to retest this level. Initially we can expect for AUDUSD to remain bullish. This is where I will be waiting for potential trading opportunity on AUDUSD. Now let's look at euro dollar. Now as you can see, we are already on a trade on euro dollar. Let's quickly look at how the market is doing here, looking at the monthly chart on euro dollar. So from the monthly perspective on euro dollar, we can see that back to back 3 months of bullish move. This month from this level, the market had an initial drop, and with the drop the price currently tested this support, and I think that the bulls will try to make another impulse to the upside in the beginning of the week, like all the USD pairs, and then we can expect for the price to revert back before the monthly close. What I think that euro dollar may drop down again, and we could see a monthly close in that area. Now if we look at the weekly chart on euro dollar, we can see that from the weekly, this is the long wick candle with a healthy body, and what I think that euro dollar, we might see initial bounce to this liquidity zone. If you look at the weekly time frame, we can see this is where back to back 3 weeks opening and closing, which is a very high liquidity zone, and we can expect for the price to retest and then to revert back. Now if we look at the daily chart on euro dollar, we can see that from the daily time frame, there is a doji here, back to back 2 daily dojis, and as the market, you can see, form series of higher low, and we can expect for the price to go back up to this liquidity zone before dropping down or even breaking to the upside further. So if we look at the intraday perspective, we can see that here is the market has formed a reversal pattern. There is a long wick doji here, and also quite a few dojis form a potential inverted head and shoulder formation, and from that zone we can expect euro dollar to remain bullish to this level, and this is where we are on a trade. And I think that if we see further pullback, we can look for further entry on euro dollar. This is where I will be waiting for potential entry as soon as we see that euro dollar has come down for a deeper pullback on the lower time frame. Now looking at GBPUSD, we can see that from the monthly chart on GBPUSD, if we look at the monthly perspective, we can see that this market, from this strong impulse on the monthly this month, this is the 3rd week of the month, we can see that so far still bulls are in control in this market, as we see that whenever the price is dropping, forming long wick candle. And I think that this week we might see GBPUSD will try to test this monthly resistance or this monthly high before coming down again. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly perspective, there is a weekly doji here. Now if we look at the low of those candles, we can see that the market, there was this long wick doji is basically a liquidity candle, has crossed this doji's low, form a long wick candle. Now this week we can see that also has done the same thing. We can see initial drop and form a long wick candle, which is signaling potential further upside on GBPUSD, and I think that this week we might see GBPUSD remaining bullish as expected. Now from the daily chart, we can see that there is a long wick candle here on the daily. After breaking this support level on GBPUSD, we have seen a very strong reaction from this support, from this long wick candle, and forming series of higher low on the daily. What we can expect with the market open, initial pullback, and then to go back up to fill this imbalance. As you can see, this doji on the daily has not been tested. There is a gap opening, and there is a liquidity here, and I think that GBPUSD will try to go up and fill that liquidity. Now if we look at the intraday time frame, we can see there is a bullish engulfer here, and that bullish engulfer on the 4 hour is potentially bullish signal, and any pullback to the downside on GBPUSD, we look for going long from this level with a high probability trade setup with our students. Let's look at gold. Let's see what kind of opportunity currently we have on gold, and looking at higher time frame. First of all, monthly. Now, as you can see, past week gold was very volatile after the previous monthly close. This month, initially after little pullback, we saw that gold had a huge breakdown, and with that breakdown the market almost came to this monthly support. Currently the price is maintaining this monthly series of higher low. Now with that series of higher low, currently gold price, after maintaining series of higher low, you see again another bounce to the upside. Now with that bounce, what we can expect on gold, for the price to go ahead and retest this monthly resistance level. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly time frame, back to back 3 weeks gold has formed long wick candle in that area. Now what we see in this zone, as it is a long-term bull market, back to back 3 weeks gold has formed series of lower low and lower high, which is on the lower time frame we can see as a bull flag. The price has dropped to this level. What I think that as back to back 3 weeks long wick candle means there is a buying pressure, and we can expect gold now to go back up to this resistance where there is a high liquidity, and from that zone whether we could see again maintaining series of lower high, dropping down, or even breaking that high to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the daily chart on gold, what we can see that from the daily time frame there is a huge breakdown. Back to back 2 days we have seen that, and immediately we have seen that gold has gone back up again to the resistance level. Last day of trading week we have seen a daily candle that has a wick at the top, and I think that this week we might see that the price will try to fill that daily wick, and we can expect initial drop to the support and then going back up to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the intraday perspective on gold, we can see that this is a huge support on gold, and we have seen a complete break of that support. Instead of dropping down further, we have seen the price has gone back up, which maintaining a false breakdown here we have seen, and then the price has gone back up, means that we might see now further upside to create a new higher high. If we closely look at, we can see that this is a high liquidity zone above this doji, and we can expect gold now to go back up and to retest that liquidity zone. So if we look at further lower time frame from 1 hour chart, we can see that this trend on gold is strongly bullish. If we look at this liquidity zone here, this is a previous support turning resistance here, and if we look at even the 30 minutes time frame, we can see that this is the zone where there is an imbalance, where we see the support here and also support here. This is a resistance, and what I think that with the market open we might see initial drop to this level. Below this level will be my eye for potential bullish, as we see that there is a bullish engulfer. It's a very powerful signal here, and we saw from this level the market had a big bounce, and we see according to our TF strategy also we found a potential signal here, and with that bounce we can see that gold has made this huge move to the upside. And what I will be waiting for the price to drop down, breaking that low, as there is a high liquidity, and this is where we can look for long-term bullish trading opportunity on gold. As soon as you will find suitable entry, you look for going long with a high probability trade setup with our students. And if you want to join us to learn the strategy that we are trading and also trade with us in Forex Trading Wizard Academy, you can find a link below this video in the description area. You can visit the website, join us to learn the strategy and also to trade with us. Let's look at dollar CAD. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity currently we have. Now looking at the monthly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the monthly back to back 2 months we have seen a very strong bearish momentum on dollar CAD, followed by this month we have seen initial bounce, and with that bounce the price just tested this very important support here, turning resistance, and from that zone we can see the dollar CAD now returning back. As the price tested this high liquidity zone, we can expect dollar CAD to drop down to this monthly support to retest before bouncing back up again. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that a pin bar from the weekly on dollar CAD. Now with that pin bar as 3 weeks of movement to the upside, dollar CAD had a rejection from this neckline of this liquidity zone. We can expect now for the price to drop down to this support level. Before the monthly close we might see bounce back up, but initially we can expect for the price to remain bearish. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see last day of trading week a long bearish candle. After retest of this zone, we can see the dollar CAD had a rejection, and I think that with the upcoming week we can expect for the price to come down, and with that drop we might see that the price again dropping down to this liquidity zone where there is a high liquidity, and this is where we can expect dollar CAD to come down to create a new lower low. Now if we look at the intraday perspective on dollar CAD, we can see that from the 4 hour there is you can see the price was maintaining series of lower high after this consolidation, and from this level we can expect dollar CAD to drop down to this support level here, and this is where we can expect dollar CAD to drop down to create a new lower low. Now if we look at the further lower time frame, we can see the dollar CAD maintaining a typical bearish market structure, and this is where I will be waiting for the price to go up and to retest. As soon as we see the dollar CAD has tested this level, we can look for potential selling opportunity from this level. As soon as we will find suitable entry, we will look for going short on dollar CAD with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at WTI. Let's see what kind of price action is forming. Looking at the monthly chart on WTI, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly back-to-back 3 months of very strong drop. Now this month the price in a very narrow range, and the price is still maintaining series of lower high. We can expect now this month's WTI to show some kind of bullish momentum. As the price has come down to this support level, we can expect now a deeper pullback to the upside. Now if we look at the weekly chart on WTI, we can see that from the weekly quite a few weeks of consolidation pattern here, and this week we can see that the market has formed a doji where the price maintaining series of lower high and also maintaining series of higher low, which is an inside bar. And what I think that this week we might see the WTI going up to fill that long wick and to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the daily chart, we can see that from the daily time frame the price is, this is the previous resistance level, maintaining that resistance, and also we see that this is a support level on the daily, and with that support the price is maintaining series of higher low with a strong liquidity candle. This is the, you can see this is a pin bar that has crossed this high, and the price next day we saw another bullish move followed by weaker comparatively response from the sellers, and I think that with the market open we can expect WTI to move up to create a new higher high. So with that being said, we can see that from the 4 hour here WTI has formed a bullish candle. It was showing promisingly bullish, and again we saw a breakdown. What I think that the price, we might see a long wick candle in that area like this one here and maintaining this support level. As soon as we see that WTI has got strongly rejected from this level, we look for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at US30 and let's see what kind of opportunity currently we have. Looking at the monthly chart on US30, we can see that from the monthly it is a bull market after back-to-back 2 months of bullish move. This month we have seen that after initial pullback to this level, the market had a bounce after this gap opening. The price currently above all this resistance level, and I think that US30 could remain bullish to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that previous week a liquidity candle. This week also the price has crossed that low and then closed as a huge bullish engulfer, and this is a very strongly bullish price action, and I think that US30 might remain bullish to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see that from the daily the price has broken that support and has got rejected with this long bullish engulfer, and we can expect for the price to push up to create a new higher high. This is the last day of trading week. We have seen that the price initially has come down for a pullback, and then we can expect for the price to create a new higher high. Now looking at the intraday perspective on US30, we can see that in our previous analysis, this is what we discussed. If you have seen that, for the price to break this support level, form this double bottom formation, and then to break to the upside, the price did that. We can see that the price has broken out of that structure, and what we can expect on US30 for the price to come down to fill that and then to retest to go back up. This is where we will be waiting for US30 to give us suitable entry. As soon as we will find suitable entry opportunity on US30, we'll look for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at NASDAQ. Let's see what kind of price action we have. Looking at monthly chart on NASDAQ, we can see that from the monthly perspective, with this monthly impulse on NASDAQ followed by this correction, and we can see another impulse on NASDAQ, and as we can see that monthly perspective, the price is showing a strong bullish price action. We can expect NASDAQ to remain bullish for long term as it is creating series of higher high and higher low. Now if we look at the weekly chart on NASDAQ, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is an impulse followed by a narrow correction. We have seen another impulse followed by deeper correction, and the price again going up to create a new higher high, and I think that this price will move up, keep pushing high to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on NASDAQ, we can see that from the daily time frame, this is where the price is maintaining series of higher high and higher low, and we saw a local breakdown on the daily, and this breakdown you can see all the red candles. The price has come to this very important liquidity zone, which is a sign of further bounce, and we saw this happen. The price has broken out, again pull back, and we see it's now forming stronger long body bullish candle, which is a sign of bigger movement to the upside. Now if we look at the intraday perspective on NASDAQ, we'll be waiting for a deeper pullback, and I think that any drop to this level will give us suitable entry on NASDAQ. As soon as we will find suitable entry opportunity on NASDAQ, we will look for going long with a high probability trade setup with our students. If you enjoyed this analysis, this weekly Forex forecast, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel and also like the analysis. And also if you want to join us to learn the strategy and also to trade with me in Forex Trading Wizard Academy, you can find a link below this video. You can join us to be part of this trading community. Thank you, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.